Okay, so this is the end of this video. I just want to say, people, you know, for those people that live in nice houses and couldn't give a rat's ass about a room like this, well, that's, you know, that's your business, right? This is important. That's all I gotta say about that. And in terms of my daughter struggling with addiction, the methamphetamine, I have a little news article, right? And it's talking about fentanyl and M18, which is more worse than fentanyl in terms of just like a little pinhead, like the end of a pin, right? Like a sewing pin. It can kill people, right? They manufactured it in a university. Right? Well, anyway, it's getting out into the streets now, people, and it's killing people. It's killing addicts. That's what it's doing. Because these drug manufacturers are mixing it in with the stuff that they make, right? My little grandson's coming. Anyway, 15 years ago, I can't do this with him coming. Just hold on. Okay. So anyway, what I want to say is, in his little newspaper article, he was talking about how methamphetamines started to become a problem 15 years ago. Okay? My oldest daughter started methamphetamines when she was 13, going into 14. By the time she was 14, she was fully addicted. I used to try and get her out of houses, mothers with children, that recruited other kids in the neighborhood to do speed, methamphetamines, right? And to go rob people. I'd bang on her door and I'd say, I want my daughter. They wouldn't give me my daughter. A couple of people, right? Called the police, and because my daughter was 14 at that time, she was allowed to make her own decisions, and the police wouldn't go in and go get her. Regardless of what she was doing, regardless of whether she was high on methamphetamines or whatever, it didn't matter. So by the time my daughter was 14 years old, she was addicted to methamphetamines. She was introduced to drugs through high school, through, you know, going into grade 8. Okay, she spent a couple years in a resource room, which I didn't want to do, but anyway, that's a different story. And it obviously didn't help her, because by the time she got into grade 8, it was, you know, drugs are already on the campus, and it was one of the best schools in Delta, but it was the richest area of Delta. And she started, I guess, smoking crack, and because she had been in a resource room where all the kids, except for her, were on Ritalin and other similar type drugs, you know, she was just exposed to that as soon as she, you know, went in from the resource room into the middle high school, which was / high school. And so by the time she was 14 years old, it was like, and of course, you don't know these things, people. Like, unless you're aware of what these drugs are, you don't know. You don't know that. I didn't know what was going on until it was too late and she was already addicted. I had never even heard of methamphetamine, never mind seen how it affects people, okay? So fast forward, she's 28 now, 14 years later, right? So she came in at around the time when methamphetamine was starting to flood, okay, our province. Now, it's not coming from poor people. It's coming from those people that live in nice houses that don't care about rooms like this, okay? Basically, let's be honest about it. It's a billion-dollar industry underground that's flourishing, as you can tell by my videos with cops over there, cops over there, cops over there. Every fucking week there's cops. For one reason or another, okay? And it's usually drug-related, to some degree. You know, whether it's shooting up the house because of it, or whether it's SWAT teams raiding it because of it, or whether it's the fire being set with that camper, and because they're homeless and they're sleeping in a camper and they don't have electricity, and, you know, and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I'm really choked that my daughters got into a huge fight last night in the freaking city, Surrey Central, at freaking midnight. I'm talking! Okay, I asked you to do something so that you didn't have to interrupt me and be here. Thank you. Go do as I asked you to do. Oh, he's so stubborn. So, you know, that's what it does, though. It breeds violence. It breeds violence within the family structure, you know. It turns children against parents. It turns parents against children. It turns children against their siblings. You know, it allows, you know, medical staff from hospitals just to come in and scoop up, you know, old people and disappear with them and tell lies and phone up banks and tell lies. And just because we live in a very corrupt society, people. You know, what is the difference between John and Sierra? John, $2,900 a month pension plan, superannuation. Oh, I'm sure they're disappointed to find out that he didn't have a life insurance policy because he knew what kind of fucking family that he had. And he canceled it for that reason. But I'm almost pretty guaranteed that his wife, Joan, the ones that we looked after, my kids, John and I, we're the ones that looked after her because nobody wanted her. But I'm pretty sure she left him a life insurance policy that they didn't tell him about until 13 months later, until they could dope him up, make it so that he couldn't walk, make him sit in his own fucking shit, and then whisk him off in the middle of the night because, you know, head nurse, you know, oh, John's the victim, you know, Judy's abusive, you know, blah, 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 just so they could take his money. Well, they abuse my daughter, people. Well, they abuse my daughter, and they allow society to abuse my daughter, and they allow my kids now to abuse my daughter. Because if we help my daughter, and we try and help my daughter, which my daughter is at the state of a 5-year-old, emotionally, people, her brains are so messed up. She's been abused so much for so long that she's gonna die very soon. I've been saying it for a long fucking time. Okay? But they don't care. Nope, they release her, just like they released Joan. Right? They couldn't put their dirty fingers into Joan's pension plan. Because, first of all, the Duncan clan didn't like Joan. They didn't want Joan. They didn't even want to help Joan. That's why Joan moved over here. But John was a different story. They could concoct stories, right? They went and colluded with the staff. And the care aides, and again, they gaslighted him, and they made it so that he couldn't get up. They made it so that he couldn't put on his own fucking sweater sometimes. And then we'd ask what's wrong with him, and he said, well, I don't know. It's because they were doping him up with OxyContin, people, and whatever else they were fucking giving him. And that's why they put him in a fucking diaper. As they released my daughter to go out in society and be beat up by her sisters, well, sister, right? Beat up by strangers on the street, right? Beat up by the people that have pimped her, okay? There's been times, people, she's come home fucking bald, with big bald spots on her, because some pimp, some wannabe cracker pimp, did you hear what I said? Cracker pimp, okay? You know, rip out her hair. Make her feel humiliated while she walks in society. That's their fucking mark out here. That's what they do. They rip out their fucking hair so they have big bald spots. That's how they control them, by fear, right? Just like these government employees that are so goody two shoes. They're not so goody two shoes, people. Okay? They're not so goody two shoes. Because they're the ones that perpetrate this shit. All right? They have the resources to help my daughter and people like her, right? But they want the families fighting. They want them fucking imploding. And they find any which way they can do it, right? First they pluck out the children, and then they kick out the vulnerable ones. And then the vulnerable ones become like what my daughter is now, okay? She didn't become like this until she got kicked out. And it wasn't by me. It was by a government employee that did that, okay? And 3.5 years later, look where she is right now. As they keep releasing her, saying, well, she's the one that chooses to do that. And we all fucking know that's a bunch of bullshit. Why don't we drop the bullshit? Don't move. Do you see this, people?
Babies.
Babies.
Are cute.
Oh, look at them. Can you believe this? Yeah. Can you believe this? Like, can you believe this, people?
The phone.
Go answer it quickly. Can you believe this, people? This is like 1:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday. June 19th, 2016. I told you they were going to be in my yard playing. Right, I didn't think they'd be out in the middle of daylight though, but they're hungry. That's what it is, people. They're hungry. See? She's telling me, look at this. Look at this. Can you see this? Can you see what's going on? She's trying to tell me she's hungry. Look at this. If we had a dog, like when we had Baloo, they'd be eating dog food right now. I'm telling you, I have to buy some dog food. Hold on. Okay, there's Bella, and there's the babies.
Right there.
There's the babies. So we know what's living behind in the tree there. On the other side of the cat house, people. On the other side, there's a little lippy thing. They're in there. So the cats are on this side, and the raccoons are on that side. And Bella is saying, I am so hungry. So I'm gonna take this bowl down. You can videotape. She smells it. Here, you want to videotape or not? Don't drop the camera and don't fall down the stairs. Just stand there. Okay, Bella. I know. Yeah. Moaning.
Now you scared the babies.
No, don't come back. See, she's right there. That's how hungry she is. Are you videotaping?
Yep.
Mickey, forget it. It's not yours. Do you see how hungry she is, people? She couldn't wait. So if we stand back, the babies will come back out.
Right here?
Yeah. Are you videotaping?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have to stay quiet in order for the babies to come back out. Yeah, how about we turn this off and when the babies come out, then we'll put it back on. We've seen Bella eat before. Okay, people, I don't know what you're going to see here, but I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm doing something. I'm not talking to you right now. I'm doing something. I have some salt here, and I'm cleaning this fish tank. Just take the salt and rub it up against the walls. We don't use soap in the fish tank, people. It kills the fish. Goldfish are a little more hardier, but even still, you don't need to. So, I'm not talking to you, Andre. What? Andre, stop it, please! He does that on purpose. I'm talking on the video, Andre. Anyway, people, this is how you wash fish tank. You can use a rag. I got all these rags right now kicking around. So, the thing I want to say though is, I got some new information here, right? Apparently at midnight, last night at midnight, right? My middle daughter ran into my oldest daughter up by Surrey Central, the SkyTrain. Unexpectedly, didn't expect to see it. See her, right? And so anyway, because of all the rage that goes on, centered around all this bullshit, right? BC Liberal government bullshit in terms of, old people going missing, right? Young people being tossed out into the streets all the time, because they're sick. Let's face it, people, my daughter is sick. We know that. The people that serve her know that. They conveniently use addiction as an excuse not to make the investment. But again, there is no difference between John and Sierra when it comes to addiction, especially now that John is medically addicted to his prescription pills now, after living in my house for 20-some years and not taking any pills. As soon as he got up into Fraser Health, that was it. They doped him up, and they took over his life, right? And they enabled his sister to do that. That's what Fraser Health did. Well, they're enabling my family and the community to abuse my daughter, right? And I'm helpless to do anything about it because I can't help her. I can't help her from the inside of the house anymore. I tried to do that in the past, people, but it was just too many other negative forces, right? Even when we were going to court for Andre initially, they weren't interested in returning the child home in those days. They were more interested in keeping the file open for at least a year And that's what they did. That's what they did. They had them for 15 months, people. Right. And don't think that there isn't ramifications behind that, because there is. And all this other bullshit that's going on right now, you know? My daughter told me that she got into a fight with her sister last night, rolling around, punching and biting on each other in the middle of the freaking, up by the SkyTrain, where everybody goes to catch a bus. I said, well, where were the cops? Because apparently they were fighting for like a good 10 minutes. And the cops didn't show up. They were probably just videotaping it. Because that's a hot spot, right? Anytime there's a hot spot, you know there's camera out there somewhere. You know, people trying to break them up, and they're telling them, no, leave them alone, it's a family affair. You know? And I'm telling my middle daughter, after she told me this, I said, look, you can't be doing that. I said, you can't be going down to that level, right? You know? You have more discipline in that. But that's the hurt and the rage and the fear and the anxiety and the post-trauma stress syndrome and all this other crap that comes with this kind of stuff that, you know, just destroys families, people. It destroys families, you know? It gets people fighting, the family fighting among themselves, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, my little grandson's here now. He was over there playing. So see what Nana's doing? I'm washing out this fish tank so we can set it up. Only I'm a little worried because this thing leaks like a sieve. Like I said, it rained, and I can see all kinds of wet spots in there. So I'm trying not to worry about that, though, right? So let me rinse off my hands here and turn off this camera, and we'll be back.
Turn off.
That's okay. It's teetering on something. It's teetering on something. I will do it. Why do I have to repeat myself 5 times before you listen? That's not right. Okay.
Excuse me, Andre. I need to bring this outside. I want to use the skill saw.
Oh. The skill saw.
Pardon me.
What's he doing, Andre? That's Tori. What's he doing?
He's turning wood.
Yeah, for what? For your little study club. Slash greenhouse slash painting room. Are you paying attention to the wood or him?
I'm paying attention to the wood and all on.
Pay attention.
I know. Now I want to turn it off.
The skill saw's over there.
Do. What's the story?
Now, Marcy's going to use the saw.
What's that? What kind of saw is that one? Skill saw.
Skill saw.
Yeah.
So we have a new skill saw.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta hold this one, Uncle Mark.
The other one broke down.
It blew out.
The other one blew out.
Yeah. Pay attention. How does it work? For $35.
Okay.
Okay.
But.
Go for it.
Okay.
Do a drum roll. That's all we got right now for now, people. Here's the fish tank. And there's a canvas.
And don't forget about that horn nest right there.
Oh yes, little hornet's nest. The owl had
And
babies.
the spider web.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Owl had babies. You notice something new, right? I brought in my wasabi plant. I put it in that pot there because it used to be there before and it really liked it. So let's see what happens. Right? What do you think about that, Andre?
Good.
Hey, it's pretty cool X Club, eh? X-Study Club / greenhouse
Yeah, you can't come.
/ painting room.
So, and you can't come today.
No, he couldn't come over today, so that's another day, people.
Maybe he can't come.
Again. You like those, eh? I think you do.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But we have to paint some pictures. Right. I got another couple of more canvases. So we're going to do some painting in here too. Right?
After?
Not today. That's another day.
We can do after.
Okay, so that's enough for today anyway. As you can see. Alright. So what I'm going to do, this will not stay outside. Those will be fine. Alright. Looking pretty nice. We're going to turn on this light. And we're going to let it run all night long. Let it run for a little while. Because that helps to prevent mildew. Obviously, I've been spraying everything down, wiping everything down, right? Washing. It still leaks, people. So I'm going to have to get some kind of tarp and tarp this up. That's why I put that there. Because I think this is the one corner that it doesn't leak. I'm not too sure. Like, it's you know what, though? I don't know. This is better than nothing. Hold on a minute.